Versus an unrelenting blitzkrieg of trick technicality. Versus an unrelenting blitzkrieg in a mountain biking version of Game of Thrones. But that was then, and this is now. At round 1 in Rotorua, Reader got his revenge. And now, Fresh Blood is looking to step onto the podium. The Triple Crown of Slopestyle is on, and the stakes are high in the Crankworx FMBA Slopestyle World Championship. The Crankworx Innsbruck Slopestyle presented by Kenda starts right now.
Yes, Michaela. It is true. It starts right now, and we have that same feeling we get every time it's another stop of the Crankworx FMBA Slopestyle World Championship. We only have 4 of those stops a year, so the hair does the thing it does. It climbs, it stands on its end on our arms because we're so excited for the show, the display of mountain bike expertise that we're about to be privileged to. I'm your host, Cam McCall, alongside my brother, Tyler McCall. And Tyler, stop number 2, stop number 1 was a doozy to say the least. And just a year ago, we saw what we've all been considering the best slopestyle mountain bike contest in the history of the sport, the history of the discipline. What are we expecting to see out here today?
I think it's going to be similar to last year, but last year was kind of a battle between 2 guys. This year, everybody's on point. Everybody who's here deserves to be here. Everyone's on fire. Practice runs have been insane, and I think it's going to be a big show.
Well, the course is something that everybody always raves about. We talk about how great the course is in Rotorua, New Zealand for stop number 1. We got the same crew who builds this course all the way up here on this northern hemisphere. Tyler, you actually had a chance to go ride the course. Take a look.
All right, here we are, Innsbruck, Austria. We got Matt Jones over here, about to drop in on 8 features of trickable goodness in the Alps. You ready, Matt?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Let's give it a run.
So the course does not start off easy. We're into this big wooden flat drop, and then the dirt to dirt. This course builder, Tom Hay, loves the dirt to dirt jumps. They're always huge. And now the boner log. No shortage of airtime there. And then the kickers really start. We've got the left hip, straight into a right hip. Woo! Little deep, that jump's big. And now the whale tail. Back flip out. That is big. The last jump is where the absolute hammers go down. We've got some huge kicker jumps, a massive whale tail, an almighty boner log. That course is unreal.
Oh, you're dangerous.
Cheers, Tyler.
That is a good course.
I'm into that. Right, guys, back to the studio.
Tyler, that looks like a blast. And a lot of people say this is their favorite course on the circuit, but there's always that debate. Does that mean it's the best course, the best slopestyle course we've ever seen? What's your opinion on that?
Oh, I think it's subjective to what people have at home, what they've been training on, what they're looking for, and what kind of tricks they want to do on what kind of jumps. I think it's the most fun course I've ever ridden, and I was telling people that, and then I thought about it. I'm like, man, those jumps are big, those landings are tall. I would be scared to have to do such scary tricks every run. So it's fun to ride, scary to trick, I would imagine.
When it's built perfect, you can ride things that are so big, but get the riders out there doing some of the biggest tricks in the world because the jumps are so perfect. Do you feel like the speeds leading into all the features are spot on?
So I was a little nervous following Matt there. That was one of my first runs, and I asked him what the course felt like, how it flowed, and he said you just drop in and you ride it. The only thing was a whale tail, you kind of have a little more speed than you need, which kind of gives people options for different tricks out of that thing. So other than that, it's just you drop in, ride it, and trust the course builders. Tom Hay, Emerson Wilkin, Elevate Trail Building, always do a great job, and course flow is perfect. Riders seem to be loving it.
You're never going to have a great course unless you have great dirt, and we only go to the best places in the world for mountain biking. That's why we're right here in Innsbruck, Austria. And if you're not familiar with where we are, here's a nice little zoomed in satellite view. Right in the middle of these gigantic alpine peaks is this city known as Innsbruck. They call it the capital of the Alps. We've got a couple bike parks here, and it's so rare to have a gigantic city centered right in between these big mountains. Usually you're in a little village or something like that. So a lot of the riders really enjoying the atmosphere out here, just ramping up the intensity for today. Now, one of the guys we all have our eyes on was a part of that 2-person dogfight last year. It was Brett Reeder and Nikolai Rogatkin.
So Nikolai, thanks for joining us. Let's talk a bit about last year. It pretty much turned into a 2-man battle between you and Reeder. You guys were one-upping each other each and every run. Tell us how important it is to have a competitor that pushes you, and does that change your strategy? What does it do to your psyche?
Yeah, you know what? Having a competitor that pushes you just, makes you be really on your game, and, makes you just stomp tricks that you weren't even potentially expecting to do in your run. So, yeah, it's a massive motivator, and it puts on a lot of pressure as well because, having a competitor that can definitely beat you with any run that they do is quite nerve-wracking, but it definitely is a huge motivator, and it's exactly what the fans want to see, a battle like that when two riders are just going back and forth and trying to do the best run of the day. So yeah, massive motivator.
Exactly. As a fan myself, I'm hoping for some more battles like that today. We love seeing you guys push each other. And now I want to talk a little bit about Rotorua. We all know that when you compete, you're not going for 5th place, you're not going for 4th place, you're going for 1st. So tell us about your result there. Has it changed your mentality, your training ritual for coming into this event?
Yeah, you know what? When you compete, you might have goals in your mind, but when it comes down to the run and you're on that start ramp, it's kind of just you versus the course. And the first run that I did in Rotorua, I was super stoked on. It was exactly what I wanted, and yeah, I gotta give it to the boys. They heavily stepped it up in the second runs, pushing me from 2nd to 5th, and yeah, I had to give it all I had, which I'm definitely not opposed to doing. I love sending it 100% what I got, and it didn't work out that time, but I can't complain. I'm still coming into this one with the same mentality, and just trying to do the best run I can down the course, and hoping the judges enjoy.
Exactly, Nikolai. Well, thanks for the insight. Good luck out there. Can't wait to watch it.
Thank you, Tyler.
Well, the big question now is, will we have deja vu of last year? The 2 necessary ingredients in that recipe are here on site. We just heard from Nikolai Regakin. Luckily, the 3rd member of our team, Michaela Gatto, is catching up with Brett Reeder.
So Brett, we've been seeing on Instagram, you posted that you've done a new trick. It seems like you're pushing yourself a lot for this film that you've been working on. Do you think filming is beneficial or detrimental for preparing for a competition like this?
I don't love doing it right up to a contest, but at the same time, you're like doing tricks when maybe isn't ideal, which simulates a contest. So I don't know. I mean, all in all, it's a positive if I can be filming right where I'm training for contests. So
Totally. And you had a bit of a slam in practice, but you seem to be absolutely dialed now. Physically and mentally, how do you move on from something like that?
Yeah, that took a toll on me. The first day was a complete rain day. We didn't get to ride on our first practice day. Second practice day, I came into practice feeling so good. Tried my new trick on the flat drop, crashed, came up short, hurt my wrist. There's no way I was able to ride later that day. And then the following day, which was yesterday, I didn't ride at all, a couple straight airs. So I'm on I'm 2.5 hours into practice right now. So I think at the end of the day, I'm not as prepared as I really need to be and want to be for this contest, but I've made the decision, and I'm going to compete. I'm going to try to do my best, and yeah, I hope it works, because it's been a bit of a mental challenge the last couple days. So yeah.
Use it as fuel. We'll be watching.
For sure. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Well, it's great to hear where Brett's head is right now. And I know that 2 words that do not exist in his vocabulary are good enough. Even though this guy should feel like he's on top of the world because he won stop number 1 in Rotorua. You saw that Instagram clip. He's continuously pushing the sport. He landed that flat drop backflip tail up at his home training center just to try to maintain his status as the guy to beat. Let's take a look back at how he won stop number 1 down in Rotorua, New Zealand. first stop of the Crankworx FMBA Slopestyle World Championship set the bar high for a thrilling season ahead. The main focus in Rotorua, New Zealand was on the Russian-American Nikolai Rogatkin and Canadian Brett Reeder. Spending most of the winter on his bike definitely paid off, as Brett laid down a flawless first run.
Court 720 on the step down.
Stomps it.
With a score of 94.25, Reeder stated his intention.
Brett Reeder goes into the lead. A ridiculously high score.
Rogatkin's first run was solid,
Oh, what?
Wow, a casserole seat grab.
but not enough to challenge Reeder for the lead. In his second run, Nikolai Rogatkin went for broke.
He's gonna bring some crowd pleasers.
Wow, a twister.
Under rotating his signature 1440 on the Magaza Money Booter, Rogatkin handed the win to a headstrong Brett Reeder.
I'm already looking forward to the next one. My mind's already there. I'm already on the start drop in Innsbruck, so yeah, I really hope that I can do.
The level was raised super high, so I really had to step it up in my my second run and went 100% all in with the 1440 in the last trick. You know, you can't expect that to go perfectly sometimes. I hit the ground pretty hard as well, so I'm stoked to be here, and we got a long year ahead of us, so only more to look forward to.
So needless to say, Brett Reeder started the season out exactly how he had hoped, taking the win on stop number one. But we got to talk about a guy who we call the king of consistency, Thomas Janon. That guy got second place in Rotorua, so he's looking good for getting those points for the overall title at the end of the year. We're going to tally up those points every single stop.
Yeah, it's important to, it's not just a race for who's going to win this event, it's a points battle as well, and they want to win that King of Crankworx and, you know, the World Championship.
And how about a guy who got on the podium for the first time at stop number one, Diego Cavarzasi?
So Diego, in everyone's mind, has always kind of been an underdog, but I don't think he's an underdog anymore. He's proved that he has what it takes to get on the podium, and I think he's going to bring that confidence into this run here.
And this guy is bringing tricks that not a lot of people